You want us to what? Gulat na tanong ni Mateo. Nasa isang terrace table sila sa The Bay restaurant sa Clontarf. He was enjoying his plate of wild mushroom and strip of filet beef risotto and a glass of Chardonnay while admiring the spectacular view of Dublin Bay when Cassandra voiced out something that completely stunned him. She took a spoonful of her chicken Florentine. Ang sabi ko, wouldn't it be nice kung ikakasal tayo? She said casually. Past 11 na ng gabi na makadaong ang ferry sa Dublin Port. Pagod na si Cassandra at gusto na lamang nito mag-check-in sa pinakamalapit na bed and breakfast inn. Earlier this morning, nakiusap ito sa kanya na mamasyal muna sila sa Dublin bago puntahan si Don Joaquin. Total ay may 2 araw pa bago ang Biyernes. Hindi naman daw makakasama na impresyon niya kung gugugurin nila ang buong isang araw sa paglilibot. Kahit tutol siya, pinili na lamang niyang pagbigyan ng dalaga. Is this still part of your make-believe fantasy? Yes, diretsyong amin ito. Naisip ko lang, since we are about to act as a loving couple, bakit di natin gawing official ang pagpapanggap natin? Let's have a pretend wedding sa St. Patrick's Cathedral. I've always wanted to have my wedding there. Skeptical na rin siya, kahit sinabi na nitong kunwaring kasal lamang ang magaganap sa kanila. Napansin ni Cassandra ang agam-agam sa mukha niya. Nagtanong ito, don't you want to know what it feels like to be wed? Marriage is a serious business for me. It's not something I jump into on impulse. Kunwari nga lang, walang priest, walang witnesses, just us saying our vows. Natatawang umiling siya. Bakit kailangan pang may ganun? Hindi naman pala totoo. Your idea is just ridiculous, Cassandra. Mateo noticed the shadow of disappointment crossed her face. With passionate eyes, she stared into him firmly. What if I tell you that this will be my only chance to be married? Papayag ka na ba sa gusto ko? This will be my only chance to be married to someone I genuinely like. Yun ang eksaktong nasa isip ni Cassandra. Kahit kunwaring kasal lang, it would mean so much to her. May nararamdaman siya para kay Mateo. Marahil na unti-unti nang umuusbong ang pagkakagusto niya rito. At gusto niyang lubusin ng ilang araw na magkakasama sila. Gusto niyang buuin ang kanyang fairy tale fantasy. At least, kahit sa ilusyon lang, ikasal siya sa kanyang Prince Charming. Hindi ka na pwedeng magpakasal? Bakit? Balak mo bang magmadre pag uwi ng Pilipinas? Tudyo ng binata. Halatang hindi siya nito sineseryoso. She felt the stab of rejection sting her insides. Malungkot siyang napangiti. Siguro nga masyadong katawa-tawa ang idea niya. Huminga siya ng malalim at pinakawala ng isang buntong hininga. Kung ayaw mo, wag na nga lang. Kalimutan mo na mga sinabi ko. Ani ang nakatingin sa kahabaan ng Dublin Bay. Mataas ang tubig, dala marahil ng bagyo. Sumisingit na sa mga kapal na ulap ang sikat ng araw. The pavement was blotched with an occasional drizzle, and the air was still cool to the skin, but the storm was over. Pero kung payag ka naman, we have to buy a wedding ring. Hindi maniniwala si Don Joaquin na mag-asawa tayo kung wala tayong wedding ring. Kaswal niyang sabi. Hindi lamang niya alam kung nahalata nitong nawala siya sa mood. Don't worry, I'll take you shopping after we eat. He grinned. Wala nga itong ideya sa kung anong eksaktong nararamdaman niya. Despite her earlier frustration, she found herself smiling goofily. Pagkatapos ng kanilang brunch, ay nagtungo sila sa bus stop sa Doyle's Lane. Nakadalawang transfer sila ng bus hanggang sa makarating sila sa Suffolk Street. Mula roon, 5 minuto rin nilang nilakad hanggang sa Trinity Lodge Hotel sa Frederick Street South. Kumuha ng isang silid para sa kanila si Mateo. Ipinasok lamang nila ang kanilang mga gamit bago muling lumabas para mamasyal. 5 minutong lakad at narating nila ang Grafton Street, isa sa mga sikat na shopping destination sa Dublin. Sa magkabilang gilid ng daan, naghanay ang iba't ibang boutiques at tindahan. Parang walang nagdaang bagyo dahil nagkalat ng mga tao sa kalsada. Hindi alam ng dalaga kung saan itutuon ang pansin. She could not focus on a particular spot. Hindi lamang mga stores ang kumuha ng kanyang pansin, kundi maging mga street musicians na nagpa-perform sa gilid ng kalye. Kung hindi lamang siya hawak ni Mateo, baka kanina pa siya sumubsob sa nilalakaran niya, ni hindi niya tinitingnan kung saan sila patungo. Hinila nito ang kamay niya nang mapatapat sila sa fields. isang jewelry store. Isang simpleng gold band ang pinili nila. But Mateo opted to buy the most expensive wedding ring on their collections. Namimilog ang mga matang tumitig siya sa binata, sanhi ng pagkabigla. He just grinned lazily and winked. Sunod naman silang pumasok sa isang tindahan ng damit. Dahil puro casual clothes lamang ang dala niya, he bought a pair of elegant evening dresses na maaari niyang magamit sakali mang kailanganin. He also bought her a pair of open-toe, high-heel sandals to go with the dresses. Bumili din ito ng isang suit at ternong sapatos para sa sarili. Marami pa silang pinuntahan na boutique. Galante si Mateo. Ito ang nagbabayad ng lahat na magugustuhan niyang bilhin. Wala tong pakialam sa presyo. Halos manlaki ang mga mata niya nang kwentan si isip kung magkano nang nailabas itong pera para sa kanya. Saan mo pa gustong pumunta? Ha? Wala sa sariling tiningala niya ito. Namula ang kanyang mukha nang kumunot ang noon nito. What's wrong, Cassandra? Hindi mo ba nagustuhan ng mga binili mo? No, I mean, of course, nagustuhan ko. Kaya lang masyado ng malaki na gagastos mo sa akin. Natatawang hinaplos ito ang pisngi niya. Bukod sa paghawak sa kamay niya, it was the most intimate gesture he made. Hindi ba't yun ang usapan natin? Nasagot ko ang lahat ng gastos mo habang kasama kita? Paalala ni Mateo. Oo nga pala. Sandali niyang nakalimutan ang totoong dahilan kung bakit sila magkasama. Don't worry, love. I can afford it. Walang halong yabang na sabi nito. Naisip niya kung aware ba itong gumamit ng mga endearment sa kanya. Baka nadadala na rin ito. O kaya, pwede rin pinapractice lamang ito ang magiging drama nila kapag humarap na sila kay Don Joaquin. She wished it was the former. Ibaba muna natin ang mga ito sa hotel. Sumulyap ito sa relo. Mag-aalas 3 na ng hapon. Bit-bit ang mga pinamili nila, bumalik sila sa hotel. They had snack at bite before proceeding to St. Stephen's Green. On their way to the park, they passed by St. Anne's Church. At muli, naalala na dalaga ang gusto niyang kasal sa St. Patrick's Cathedral. Hindi nakaligtas kay Mateo ang yearning sa mga mata ni Cassandra habang nakatitig sa exterior na matandang simbahan. Hindi niya maintindihan kung bakit gusto nitong magpakasal sila kahit di naman totoo ang magiging seremonya. Kanina, seryoso ito habang kinukumbinsi siya. Para bang may malalim na dahilan maliban sa make-believe fantasy nito? He could not figure her out. Maganda ang dalaga. Malakas ang sex appeal nito. Isama pa ang kaya-ayang personality nito. Imposibleng wala itong mga suitors. Kaya nga hindi siya makapaniwala nang sabihin nitong iyon lamang ang tsansa nitong maikasal. Hindi naman ito nagpapaliwanag ng tungkol doon. Naisip niyang masyadong sensitibo ang bagay na iyon, kaya hindi na rin siya nagtanong pa. Hindi niya maunawaan, ngunit bigla ay lumutang na imahe ng isang babae sa kanyang isip. Back in Manila, sa hallway ng isang hotel, nagkabungguan sila. Namilog ang kanyang mga mata. Si Cassandra ang babaeng iyon. Kaya pala pakiramdam niya ay pamilyar ito. Wala sa sariling napangiti siya. Nang maglakad ito ay sumabay na rin siya, still contemplating on the pretend wedding issue. Napasulyap siya sa babae nang humawak ito sa isang kamay niya. Gaya ng dati, nakatingin ito sa paligid. Her eyes were always full of wonder. She was taking everything in, relishing each step, smiling at every delightful spot. Si Cassandra ang klase ng taong hindi maiinip sa traffic sa EDSA. She would be counting cars, guessing about the models, probably creating a backstory for whoever the owner was. She would be happy admiring the trees and the flowers while stuck on a detour. When everyone else was struggling to enjoy life, she enjoyed it. She noticed simple, little things that matter. Isang novelty na sa panahon ngayon ang mga kataong tulad nito. He glanced once more at the woman beside him, totally caught up in a daydream. His heart fluttered with pride. It was pure luck that he had met her, or maybe she was destined to teach him something. That moment, he realized that it would not harm him if he gave into her fantasies. Walang mawawala sa kanya kung pakakasalan niya ito. Lihim siyang napangiti. He could not wait to see the look of surprise in her face the moment he made her dreams come true. Bukas, bago sila pumunta sa Carrick Mines, pakakasalan niya ito sa St. Patrick's Cathedral, gaya ng gusto nito. His pulse quickened at the thought. Wala sa sariling napailing siya. The pre-wedding jitters felt real. So was his excitement. "Oh God, Mateo! This place is beautiful!" Cassandra exclaimed. Sa pag-iisip niya, hindi niya napansing nakapasok na sila sa Fusilier Arc at binabaybay na ang cemented path patawid sa Oak Kernel Bridge. Mamasa-masa ang damuhan dahil sa nakalipas na bagyo. Nakadagdag sa lamig ng hangin ng mga punong nakahanay sa dinaraanan nila. Inakbayan niya ang kasama at kinabig. Niyakap naman ito ang dalawang braso sa bewang niya. Her height, her build, her softness, they were just perfect for him. For the first time in his adult life, nakaramdam siya ng contentment. He could walk around this park all day with her by his side, and he would not grow tired or bored. Wala sa loob na dinampian niya ng halik ang noo ng dalaga. Napatingala ito sa kanya. Sandali silang huminto sa gitna ng tulay, staring at each other. The soft cool breeze, the occasional flutter of duck wings on the tranquil lake waters, and the chatter of birds on the tree branches. The quiet comfort, the pure magic of the place made it unbearable for him not to kiss her. Napasulap siya sa nakaawang na bibig ng dalaga. She was breathing raggedly at hindi yun dahil sa mahabang distansyang nilakad nila. "If you want to kiss me?" Hindi na ito natapos ang sasabihin. His lips silenced her, and Mateo could not believe the intense desire that shook him the moment he tasted her plump lips. It was unbelievable, considering his broad sexual experiences with the opposite sex. No one had aroused him as powerful as Cassandra had. Thirsting for her sweetness, he grasped her head and kissed her as deeply as he could. "Mateo, anong ginagawa natin dito?" Nasa bungad sila ng St. Patrick's Cathedral. She tried to be distant with him pagkatapos na nangyari sa kanila nang nagdaang hapon sa park. But Mateo refused to let her out of his sight. At dahil sa iisang kwarto lang naman sila tumutuloy, hindi niya ito magawang iwasan. Cassandra needed time to analyze her feelings. His kiss scrambled all her emotions. She was confused, scared, and at the same time, thrilled. She had never allowed a man to kiss her the way he did. Hindi lang niya ito pinayagan. She wantonly responded to that every passionate kiss. She was already falling for Mateo, at iilang araw pa lamang sila magkakilala. "You said you wanted us to get married here." Nasa loob na sila ng katedral. Cassandra looked around her, amazed by the magnificent architecture of the old church. The tall, wide pillars, the archways, the stained glass windows depicting the life of St. Patrick. The cathedral creates a tranquil, almost divine environment. "Mateo, hindi na kailangan gawin to." His brows drew closer. "Why the sudden change of heart? Natatakot ka ba?" Saan naman siya matatakot? It was going to be a pretend wedding only. Isang katuwaan lang. But yes, natatakot siya. Her fairy tale fantasy was going too far. Gusto niya si Mateo at hindi malabong totohanin niya ang drama. Ngayon pa nga lang, pakiramdam niya ay totoong asawa na niya ito. Especially with that kiss they shared. She shook her head in frustration. Hindi na niya dapat sinabi pa sa lalaki ang mga secret yearnings niya. "You are the one who convinced me to play make-believe." "Ayoko lang kasing pilitin ka." He smiled. It took just a daisy curve of his lips to melt the indecision in her heart. Sino naman na nagsabing napipilitan lamang ako? You were right. I have to set the kid in me free. And honestly, I do want to feel what it's like to be married to someone like you. Someone like her. Anong ibig nitong sabihin? Ano ba ang isang katulad niya? Someone who could amuse him? Someone he could learn to like and possibly love? Again, she shook her head. He could not possibly be falling for her. "Come on, let's do this." Wala na siyang nagawa nang hilahin siya ng binata palapit sa main altar. Her nervousness doubled. Nanginginig ang mga tuhod niya. Walang ibang tao sa loob ng katedral maliban sa kanila. Mateo reached for the inside of his jacket. Nilabas ito ang kahita ng wedding ring na binili nila sa Fields. The memory of how expensive it was brought a sense of honor in her. Pipilhin din kaya nito ang ganoon kamahal na wedding ring kung ibang babae ang kasama nito ngayon? Maybe, she was just being arrogant, pero may pakiramdam siyang hindi. "Ay, Mateo Salvador." Panimula nito habang kinukuha ang isang singsing. Take thee, Cassandra Lorenzo, as my lawful wife. He took her hand and slipped the ring on her finger. To love, respect, and honor, to have and to hold, from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do us part. With fingers trembling, she took the other ring in his right hand, to make him siya para alisin ang bara sa kanyang lalamunan. I, Cassandra Lorenzo, take thee, Mateo Salvador, as my lawful husband, she said as she stared at a pair of blue-green eyes, so intense it almost took her breath away. To love, respect, and honor, to have and to hold, from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, until death do us part. Their vows not only sounded real, it felt real, poignant. The tender kiss that followed sealed her fate. She was indeed already in love with this handsome man. At kahit isang pagkukunwari lamang ang naganap, kahit pa nakatakda sila maghiwalay makalipas ng ilang araw, at kahit naghuhumiyaw ang katotohanang ikakasal siya sa ibang lalaki, in her heart and mind, she would forever be Mateo's wife. Su esposa es muy hermosa. Nakangiting bati ni Don Joaquin Ignacio na makarating sila sa terrace house ito sa Carrick Mines. Mateo glanced at her and grinned. Indeed she is. Cassandra blushed. Kahit paano nakakaintindi siya ng Spanish. Multilingual ang mommy niya at tinuruan siya nito ng mga lengguaheng alam nito. I'm really glad you were able to come, Mateo. I wouldn't miss it for the world, senyor. Gumiti ulit ang matanda. He was a bubbly old man with a welcoming smile and bright gray eyes bearing wisdom, honed with each passing year. Sa simpleng sweater at loose pants na suot nito, wala sa itsura nito ang pagiging isang hotel magnate. Mula sa foyer, iginiya sila nito papasok sa living room. Ang mga gamit nila ay pinakita nito sa silid na okupahin nila. Sa living room, nadatnan nila ang dalawa pang pareha. Ang mga ito marahil ang kakompetensya ni Mateo sa pagbili ng hotel. They were typical businessmen, rich, cold and stern, despite the smiles. Their partners were typical rich man's wives, classy, snooty, their faces cracked with fake smiles. Sa tingin niya, anumang oras ay ihihimatayin siya sa boredom ng dalawa. Napahawak siya sa braso ni Mateo. How could this couple stand each other? Ni wala siyang maramdamang spark sa pagitan ng magkakapareha. Alas 7 pa ang dinner, and it was only a couple of hours after lunch. Nagpaalam sila kay Don Joaquin na papasok muna sa kwarto. Naninibago ako sa iyo, puna ni Mateo. Kanina, sa katedral nalibot ka, walang pang imik. Paglabas sila, ay nilibot pa nila ang paligid niyon. Tahimik siya habang namamasyal, at kahit nang sakay na sila ng taxi papuntang Carrick Mines. Hindi lang ako makapaniwala, nakasal na tayo. They both knew that it was meant to be a joke. Pareho silang napatawa. Hindi sila patayo ng asawa, at kinulong siya sa mga bisig nito. Wala tayong audience, paalala niya. Ba't hindi ang hahalikan siya nito? So, I want to kiss my wife. Hindi na siya tumutol nang dumampis sa mga labi niya ang bibig nito. Does this mean gusto mo ring i-consummate ang marriage natin? Lakas loob na tanong niya. She needed to know para may handa niya ang sarili. Only if you want to. Anas nito at muling sinakop ang nakaawang niyang bibig. Only if she wanted to? God, she wanted to rip his clothes off that very minute. Nahihibang na nga siya. Mabuti na lamang at may lakas si Mateo na tapusin ang halik bago pa siya tuluyang mawala sa katinoan at gawin ang kanina pa niyang iniisip. You should learn how to resist me, Cassandra, he said, his breathing heavy. She frowned. Why do you want me to resist you? Because I damn can't. I want you, Cassandra, at ayoko magsamantala. We both know that we're only doing this for the show. Hindi ko nakakalimutan. She swallowed hard. Kung gayon, hindi nito gusto ang mga responses niya. He might even think of her as an easy lady. Kung sa bagay, wala nga naman ito maipapangako sakaling may mangyari sa kanila. At least, Mateo had the decency to warn her. I'm sorry. It's just that... Hey! Itinapat niya ang isang daliri sa bibig nito. It takes two to tango. Gusto mo kong halikan? Gusto ko ring mahalakan. It's a normal physical human behavior. Maybe we got caught up with our fantasies, that we momentarily forgot what's real. Pero ngayon, malinaw sa atin ang lahat. Wala naman nagiging problema. Sa halip na maapis, ay lalo pang lumalim ang kunot sa noon nito. From now on, no more intimate gestures unless needed. Deal? Aniya, na inilahad pa ang isang kamay. Mateo grasped it firmly. Naramdaman niya ang bahagyang pisil nito, and her heart hammered wildly. Wish niya lamang, mapangatawanan niya ang sinabi. Deal! Labas sa ilong ni Mateo ang kanyang sagot. His heart revolted against the idea of not kissing her when he wanted to. Pero sa kanya naman nagsimula, umayon lamang ito. It would be for her own good. Katwiran niya sa sarili. They were just pretending. Tama lamang na ingatan niya ito. Lalaki siya. Ano man ang mangyari, walang mawawala sa kanya. Pero si Cassandra, hindi lamang pagkababae nito ang makakompromise. Baka buong buhay pa nito. Yup, he would have to keep his distance from her when no one was watching, even if it was killing him slowly. Matutulog lamang ako sandali. Anito. She laid on the bed and pulled the pillow. Tumalim ang tingin niya sa unan. Nainggit siya. It should be him. Gusto rin niyang umidlip sa tabi nito. Keep your distance, Mateo. He reminded himself. Sige, umidlip ka na muna. Gigisingin na lamang kita kapag malapit ng mag-dinner. Cassandra smiled and closed her eyes. The temptation of feeling her luscious lips again overwhelmed him. Instead, he smoothed a hand over her head and caressed her cheek. His contented sigh brought a delightful shiver down his spine. Paglabas ng silid nila, hinanap niya kaagad si Don Joaquin. He found him chatting with Evan and John, ang dalawa pang prospective buyers ng property nito. Binati niya ang dalawang lalaki. They were both American businessmen. Sa buong pagtataka niya, ang takbo ng usapan ay hindi tungkol sa hotel, kundi ukol sa buhay mag-asawa ng dalawa. Sumasagot naman ng mga ito sa mga tanong na matanda, but they sounded uninterested and bored. Hindi yun nakaligtas sa keen observation ni Don Joaquin. How about you, Mateo? Where did you meet your wife? At the airport. Wala sa sarili siyang napangiti sa alaala. A few years ago. Dagdag niya, sakaling magtanong pa ito. It was a whirlwind romance, really. We went out for a few days and then we decided to get married. That quick? Evan commented. Sinamahan pa nito ng pagngisi. How long have you been married? 3 years. He weaved a convincing love story and reminded himself to tell Cassandra about it. Hindi makapaniwala ang dalawang lalaking kaharap niya. It's unbelievable. You don't fall in love within the span of a few days. Mateo did. Si Don Joaquin na nagsalita. You know, gentlemen, it is true that love should be nurtured. It should grow with time. But there are instances, rare instances, when the moment you laid your eyes on someone, you are certain that destiny had paired you up, and that you are meant to spend the rest of your lives with that person. The moment I met my wife, my utmost desire was to make her mine, completely in every sense. We got married after a week and not a minute passed by, in all our years together, that I did not love her more than I did when we first met. Sumulyap sa kanyang matanda. Alam niyang 5 taon na rin itong byudo, and yet, he could still see his love, his devotion to his late wife. Sometimes, gentlemen, you just know. Sandaling naghari ang katahimikan. And then, Evan chuckled. This is ridiculous. Sinigundahan ni John ang sinabi nito. Nanatiling magiliw ang mukha ni Don Joaquin. The two guys amused him. Yun ang nabasa niya sa mga mata nito. Naramdaman ng matanda na nakatitig siya. Bumaling to sa kanya at mainit ng umiti. Well, it was a pleasure sharing this time with you. I shall leave you with your business for a while. I will meet you again at dinner. And after that, we will discuss the sale of my property. Tumayo rin sila nang tumayo ang Don. Nang mawala ito sa paningin nila, nagkanya-kanya na rin ang dalawang kasama niya. He was left alone with nothing to do. Should he check on Cassandra? Wala pang 1 oras ang itinulog nito. Nakakahiya namang gisingin niya kaagad. Maybe, he should take a tour around the house. Yun nga ang kanyang ginawa. Lumabas siya ng bahay at inikot ang paligid. Sa likuran ay nakita niya ang isang hindi kalakihang man-made lake. May isang paarkong tulay na nagdurugtong sa kanilalagyan niya at sa isang lake house. The lake house was an open gazebo, surrounded by wildflowers and patches of ornamental grass. Gumagapang sa mga posa nito ang namumulaklak na vines at sumakop na rin sa pinakabubong. Sa loob ay isang pabilog na mesa na may katernong dalawang silya na nakafix na sa sahig. Yari sa marmol ang mga iyon. Mateo could not contain his joy. Cassandra would definitely love this place. It was so solemn, romantic. Pumasok siyang muli sa loob ng bahay at pinuntahan ng dalaga sa silid nila. At dito na po nagtatapos ang ikatlong kabanata ng ating kwento. Salamat po!